Joining us now is Sir William Browder, founder and CEO of Hermitage Capital Management and head of the Global Magnitsky Justice Campaign. Bill, it's great to have you on the show. Welcome.
Great to be here.
So that's exactly where I want to start with you, because not a day, and if not a day, then not a week goes by that I'm not speaking to CEOs both on and off camera who don't say that, or do say, I guess, that geopolitics is among the risks that they're tracking most closely right now. So just want to get your thoughts on the geopolitical landscape, especially as we do see a possible second summit between Trump and Putin collapse here.
Well, I mean, basically, geopolitics, I think, are probably the single biggest risk for all investors right now. You have the war in Ukraine. You have this huge fight with China over tariffs. In the longer term, you have the question of whether China is going to take over Taiwan. And then you have all this issue about the United States falling out with traditional allies and what that might do for the U.S. dollar's reserve currency status. When you put this all together, it creates kind of a treacherous backdrop. Normally, investors just focus on their business and their relatively narrow set of interests and try to ignore what's going on broadly. But I don't think you can do that right now.
So what do investors and also corporate America and C-suite executives need to understand about what it's going to take to bring this war in Ukraine to an end?
Well, I think that the main thing everyone needs to understand is that the war is not going to come to an end. And the reason it's not going to come to an end is that the person who launched this war, Vladimir Putin, doesn't want it to come to an end. The reason he doesn't want it to come to an end is that he has put this war into motion not because of any specific beef he has with Ukraine. He's done this war because he is worried after 25 years of being a dictator in power that his people may come to get him, that there will be 1 million people marching on Red Square. And the best way to avoid angry Russians angry at their leader is Machiavelli 101, create a foreign enemy and start a war. And that's what the war in Ukraine is all about. And very few of the political leaders understand that. And so when you're hearing about President Trump's conversations with Putin and offering up this and offering up that, the simple answer is that Putin doesn't want any of those offers because Trump can't offer him the thing that he most needs, which is guaranteeing that he'll stay in power. That's not something within Donald Trump's control. And so all this other stuff is just sort of dancing around the head of a needle. And I'm afraid that all these headlines that we read lead to nothing. And so everybody needs to kind of prepare themselves that this war is going to go on for a while.
Last year, there was a focus on American-made weapon systems like F-16s being delivered to Ukraine. Right now, there's a lot of talk about Tomahawk missiles being included on the battlefield as well. But I do wonder if the leverage to bring this war to an end actually lies in the energy market. And if so, your thoughts on that, as long as Russia is supplying certain countries with oil and gas?
Well, I think that there's two keys to ending this war. And one is, as you mentioned, the weapons that Ukraine needs to hit Russia hard in their refineries and their military bases, et cetera. And the other is that the Russia has one huge source of income, and that is the sale of crude oil. Since the war started, Russia has sold $400 billion of crude oil to China, India, and Turkey. And if we really wanted this war to end, what we would do is to identify the 8 refineries, 2 in China, 4 in India, 2 in Turkey, that buy all the Russian oil. There's only 8 refineries in the world that are giving Russia this $400 billion. And we think of those refineries is either us or Russia. You can either do business with the West, buy from us, bank with us, sell to us, or you can do business with Russia with their discounted oil. Your choice.
Yeah.
And I think if we made that ultimatum to those refineries, they would say, we'd rather do business with the West. And if that happened, the oil would still get out there somehow, but it would be selling at $20 a barrel, not $60. And in 6 months' time, Putin would be on his knees begging for a ceasefire to end this war.